Hello YouTube family, Greg D here with TGN, and we are back for another DCUO video, and today I'm going to be bringing you an updated of sorts Might DPS Earth loadout. I've had several requests to do an updated Earth DPS loadout, which isn't very much updated, but a little tweaking, and I found this works really well. As most of you know who have been following me for some time, I do highly enjoy Earth. It is one of my favorite powers in the game. Earth and Sorcery are probably my two favorite powers within the game. But without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing that we are going to mention is that no matter what you do as far as your actual stats, whether it's artifacts, generator mods, gear mods, whatever the case is, you want to make sure that you have as much might as you can. Obviously, like I said, this is a Might DPS loadout, so it's your yellow ticks. So, like I said, you want to have as much might as you can. Might health, might and power, whatever the case is, might. So as far as the actual stats themselves go, let's go into here maybe. There we go. So as far as your stats are concerned, yes, I see there that I only have 189 skill points. Oh my god, why are you making a video when you only have 189 skill points? I have 350. Whatever, Becky, just leave me alone. I do what I do. I don't have the patience. Just chill. This is going to work whether you have 50 skill points or whether you have 500 skill points. Just relax. So, with that being said, we are going to do super powered, obviously, because we're not using any weapon attacks at all with this loadout. So you want to do super powered. Then obviously you want to get your critical attack chance, your critical attack damage, which means your crits will actually have more damage and they will happen more often. That's what those do. So then, in just talking specifically in the DPS role, whatever skill points that you have left after you've done your critical attack chance, your critical attack damage, you want to put everything in might and power. If you are someone who does like to, in the case of Earth, if you like to tank as well, then you might want to divide some of these might and power points with dominance as well. Where's dominance? There's dominance, because obviously you need dominance to be a tank. So just keep that in mind if you're someone who does like to play DPS and tank. Just keep that in mind. As far as the actual loadout is concerned, from left to right, we are going to do Debris Field. We are going to do Unstoppable. We are going to do Totem. We are going to use Neo-Venom Boost as your supercharge. We are going to use the Pet Crystal. We are going to use Jackhammer. Jackhammer is going to be where the majority of your damage comes from this loadout. So you may be wondering why I have Unstoppable here, because it is also a power interaction. And the reason is because it's a supercharged generator, and as I will show you here, it actually does increase or generates a good amount of how do I want to explain this? It does fill up the circle, as I will show you here. As you can see there in the middle, there's Neo-Venom Boost, and I will show you here right now. Look how much generates. So all you got to do is throughout the course, especially like if you're in a longer alert, a longer raid, as you can see, it will generate quite a bit of that circle. So the faster you can get that, obviously, the more often you'll be able to use the supercharge. And I've come to, originally I didn't use Neo-Venom Boost at all in this loadout. But the more that I've been using it, the more I realized that it is great. I was using Earthquake before, which does hit very hard when you are able to get it, but the only problem with that is that it takes forever to charge that supercharge up. Like, you might go through an entire long raid and might only be able to use that once, whereas I have found using the Neo-Venom Boost with Unstoppable, you are actually able to generate the supercharge 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So especially in boss fights, they come in very, very handy. So just keep that in mind. So like I said, we're going to be using all the powers in this for all of your damage. Sorry, I'm getting myself tongue-tied here because my brain is moving faster than my mouth. But we are going to be using all power damage, no weapon damage at all. So we are literally just going to go through our rotation left to right, I am a person who does like using the pets, whether you're talking about Earth or whether you're talking about sorcery. So just keep that in mind as well. You don't necessarily have to use the pet, but I love using the pet for extra damage. So obviously, like I said, we have debris field here, which is going to inflict our power interaction, and this is also a damage over time. Also, we have our unstoppable here. As you see there, crushes enemies, making them vulnerable to crushing effects, which is fine, but we are more so using this, like I said, for the fact that it is the supercharged generator. I also like to use totem. You don't necessarily need to use totem in this loadout, but personally I like using it just because, especially in the top tier end content, I've noticed that the pet can die quite frequently. So having the totem is a way to help keep your pet alive. As you see there, any nearby golems receive healing over time. So this is kind of like the watcher in a way for sorcery. It helps keep your pet there. Obviously, the longer that you're able to keep your pet up and not die all the time, the more extra damage you're able to get over time, which is obviously a huge thing there. Obviously, like we mentioned too, we have the Neo-Venom Boost. Temporarily increase your strength, your defense, and your damage from an experimental derivative of venom, blah, blah, blah. This is quickly becoming, like I've said, my favorite supercharge in the game. Just because of how often you can use it and how much extra damage you actually do get. Then you actually have your pet there, and which also we should mention here too, that crushed enemies will also receive additional damage from the golem's crystal powers. They're much like you would get from your own powers. And then jackhammer, which is your combo move, which in a way I get that this loadout can be boring. It's very monotonous, it's very repetitive, but it hits really, really freaking hard. So we will go show you again. I just want to show you this one more time. All you got to do is this, and see how much your supercharged circle there gets filled up. Like, I've had boss fights where I've literally been able to use Neo-Venom Boost 3 times in a row and had that enhanced defense and damage output 3 or 4 times in a row. So it's really, really good. It's really good. I really like it. I can't say that enough. So from left to right, we're just going to go through. So you're basically just going to clip those together. You're going to get your totem out, and then you're just going to spam your jackhammer. So you're just going to hit your melee button. Now, obviously, you don't have to be nearly this close. Obviously, in the top end content, it is hard, especially in the boss fights, to get really close to whatever boss you're fighting. So, I mean, you can stay. See, this is too far. But, let's see. So this is probably your sweet spot, right about there. So just take that into consideration. Obviously, it does help to have good colas, a lot of colas, extra defense, all of that stuff, because it is hard. It is hard to, like I said, get close to the top end content bosses and consistently hit a lot of damage, but you are able to hit for a lot of damage there. So we'll just go through again and just show you. I mean, you can see there, even by the parsers, you're getting, on average here, 4,000 to 5,000 damage here with my skill points. You're critting probably 9,000, 10,000 every once in a while, maybe a 20,000 there, just that. So then you will, let's do our little trinket there. Let everything kind of heal up here as far as the power. And then you can see there too that the crystal's probably hitting on average about 5,000, 6,000. So we'll just go through. And you can see there. Now we're critting probably 10,000 easily on the high end, averaging probably 9,000 or 10,000 there. Okay, so now let's set everything up again. Obviously, the more skill points, the more stats you have, the higher these numbers will be. Obviously, like I said, I'm someone who has 190 skill points. I'm not a person who has a lot of patience as far as feat farming. So obviously if you're someone who has 250, 300, 350 skill points, these numbers will be much higher. Obviously getting the better gear helps as well, so just keep that in mind. This is going to work, like I said, whether you have 50 skill points or 350 skill points. So like I said, just keep that in mind. Now let's use the Venom Boost here and we will show you the difference here. So what we're going to do is we are going to go through, you're going to use your skill points, and then bam, see, oh crap, I screwed it up. There we go. There we go. So now I just saw a 36,000 hit. And now you see we're critting, you know, 14, 15,000. I wish this person would go away so that I could do this. But as you can see here, oh, of course, you're going to screw up my whole entire video here, person. But as you can see, 20,000, 9,000. Let me let that heal up again. So we are going to actually try to get this thing leveled up there. But you can actually see there that the crits do hit a lot harder. So where that initial crit damage was maybe 20, 25,000, with the Neo-Venom Boost it was 35,000, 36,000. So you can see how much more damage you're able to do with just one move. And like I said, because you're able to consistently fill up that circle to generate the supercharge itself, you're able to, like I said, over the course of a raid, you can easily hit that 4 or 5 times, no problem. So now that we have everything leveled up again, we're just going to go through and show you. And you can see how fast these are going too, because you have your damage over times and you're just pounding away. Like I said, yes, this does get monotonous at times. Yes, it can be power hungry. Yes, it will be good, and especially alerts in raids, to have a controller, a healer, tank. Obviously you want to have that stuff anyway, but I guess what I'm saying is yes, it can be power hungry. Yes, it gets you in a compromising position as far as having to be close to everything, but overall it is definitely worth it. Even me being 190 skill points, I can easily do a ton of damage to help out the group so that we can get through the instances faster. So it's definitely a worthwhile investment to try this out for yourself. If you don't like it, that's fine, but I would say at least give this a try, especially if you are looking for a new power, something that you maybe haven't tried to this point. It is definitely worth it. It can definitely be a lot of fun to see all those numbers going, like I said, especially once you get your numbers and your stats up there. So we're going to try this one more time here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to hit the Neo-Venom Boost, we're going to hit our trinket, and we're going to go through and away. And like I said, over the course of an alert, a long alert, or even a raid, you can easily hit that 5 or 6 times. And like I've said before, power hungry. So really the only problem that you really run into damage wise here is the fact that you run out of power, which obviously can be fixed with getting more skill points, getting more stat points, getting better mods in your gear, your generator, that kind of thing. So just keep all of that in mind. But like I said, if you like it, great, give it a try. Let me know what you think. If you don't like it, that's fine too. That's why we all make videos. That's why we all kind of throw what works personally for us. You know, what works for me may not work for you, and that's okay. That's fine. I'm not really concerned if you don't like it. That's just the way it is. But thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I would like to eventually get an Earth Precision DPS Loadout video up here soon, just because I've been fiddling with going back to weapon mastery and precision, just because obviously with the top end content that could be a little bit more versatile without having to be like right on top of the enemies. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, thank you so much for watching, and until next time guys, we'll see you soon.